town, you just found me. I'm a $65 million circus tragedy. I'm not rolling, baby, rolling in the green, but I'm unique. A freak. I'm the new Coney Island, and all the rides are open and free. I'm me. All the weirdos in the world are here right now in New York City. All the brazen boys and girls dressed to kill without pity. All the weirdos from out of town, and all the freaks always around. All the weirdos in the world are here in New York City tonight. Here in New York City tonight. I got a crew of party animal mutants by my side. Demon hairdo evil dressers who just won't be denied. The crossroads of the world just need a little tweak from a freak. I said goodbye to my straight life, 'cause I love a freak. All the weirdos in the world are here right now in New York City. All the brazen boys and girls, peacocks, hoses, show no pity. All the weirdos from out of town, and all the freaks always around. All the weirdos in the world are here in New York City tonight. Here in New York City tonight. Oh yeah, that's the boys. And the ladies sing.
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun, but we're not writing a game today, we're instead going to be looking at one. Hi! I didn't really plan on doing this. I thought I was going to do another case, but I decided to say, screw it, let's do something fun for the weekend. Do something a little bit wacky. So, we're going to be looking at a game today. I'm looking at a single game, maybe two. I don't know about the second one yet. And this game is, it's caused some interesting things. I'm not gonna lie, we have some interesting notes about this one. Mostly because it's, well, as you can tell, it's a Marvel game. Yes, Marvel, not Marvel. Very different, but Marvel. It's, for those who don't know what Marvel is, let me bring up the official description of now. If you want something really sad, it's when you search up Marvel, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now that's the true sadness. However, Marvel is no, I just want to do Marvel Studios, not Marvel Studios. Oh Jesus. Generally speaking, Marvel's comic book company. Marvel's comic book company that's done quite a lot of things, actually. Now, back in the day, the thing is, you know who Marvel is. This is Marvel. I will hold my shirt. This is Marvel. They're known for things like, for example, the X-Men. The X-Men are cool. They're mutants. They're also known for the Avengers. The Avengers. Woo! Look, everybody, it's the greatest cinematic crossover in history by a bunch of properties that everybody already owns. They also, technically, I think they did the Conan comics for a while. What else do they do? They have Deadpool. You all like Deadpool? Look at him, he's funny. He does the dank memes. It's Ryan Reynolds. It's funny. Why aren't you laughing? Say it. But, yeah, Marvel's a superhero company. Oh, and how can we forget the most famous of... thank you for reminding me. Sorry, he's transcended slightly. They also have the most powerful, member of the universe. Actually, this is just Michael Morbius. Because remember, kids, it's Morbin time. Because always remember, it's Morbin time. Every day is Morbin time. I'm Morbin. You're Morbin. We're all Morbin. But Marvel is Marvel is one of the big two when it comes to comics. Actually, they also have Guardians of the Galaxy, but we don't talk about them. Marvel is one of the big two, mostly between that and DC. These two are the big two. Marvel traditionally is far more, I'll say, grounded. When I say that, put a little big asterisk on there. But like, Marvel's a lot more about like, we're in New York City, we're in Manhattan, we're in California. It's places feel a little bit more real rather than like the super heroics of Metropolis, of Gotham City, of Central City, of DC. Characters tend to be, I would say, a little bit lower power level, like a little bit, how do I want to word this? I would say averaged out power level, but that's kind of bullshit these days. So it kind of don't think about it too hard. That's my usual, that's my usual thinking when it comes to it. Don't think about it too hard. It just kind of works. And recently, though, traditionally speaking, Marvel has been like the underdog in that regard. Like, Marvel's kind of like usually not as popular as Detective Comics as DC. However, recently over time, Marvel's obviously become a lot more popular because of, a little franchise. I don't know about you. You may have never heard of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This little franchise, this little cinematic nightmare that has here, I'll give you the best way to say it. And taken over everything that is good in the world, and has commodified it into a nightmare. I want to give you all a secret. I don't like Marvel. I don't really care for it. Not my jam. But superheroes in general, kind of not really my jammerino. The superhero comics I do end up reading are usually like either indie stuff, because I'm a fucking hipster, or they are DC with a very specific storyline in mind. I like Superman Red Sun, actually. That was a really good retelling of the Superman story. Because I'm just not a big superhero guy. Never really have been a big superhero dude. And there's a couple reasons. Like, my main reason is superheroes to me don't need very long stories. They need to have a very focused story. Fucking Chew. I like the idea behind Chew. I got disgusted reading Chew, though. It was, oh god. I cringed reading Chew. Ugh. Ugh. A lot of people get fatigued with whole Marvel stuff. Yeah, the problem is like this is gonna be a little bit of a rambling talk right now, but like Marvel over the years has slowly become like just synonymous with like it's superhero stuff. Look, everybody, it's Iron Man. Oh my goodness, it's Captain America. Oh goodness. And it's personally, I watched like the first few movies, but I think everybody has watched the first few movies, and now I'm just kind of like, even if I wanted to like get back into it, I'd be in like phase 2, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Fuck you. Like, yeah, fuck this, fuck you, fuck everything about that. It just it doesn't really I don't care as much, really. I know some people who are obsessed with the Marvel movies, who love them to death. I never could get into them. It just didn't really, storylines just felt boring to me. Not really my jammerino. It's how did my one friend state it? Marvel movies are a lot of very pretty visuals, of very interesting set pieces, but absolutely zero substance. And inevitably someone's gonna be like, what the Marvel cinema? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like Invincible with like comics like that. They don't have to read 1,001 different volumes to get something out of it. Yeah. There's a reason actually why I actually like Japanese superheroes a lot more. Which Japanese superheroes tend to be that way. Now you may be saying, you mean like My Hero Academia? Fuck My Hero Academia. That's called Wasted Potential, the story. But sometimes they have some interesting ideas, or they explore things a little bit differently. Welcome to Kamen Rider, or like most of the Super Sentai stuff. Great stuff. We'll go with that. However, Marvel's been, style over substance. Marvel has been getting to the point of massiveness, and it's kind of hit like a boiling point. Like, there's so much Marvel stuff, we need more Marvel stuff to kind of sate the masses. Now, way back in the day, there was the Marvel TRPG. Let me see the exact one it was. Yeah. This was Marvel Superheroes. You kind of see it right here. This was actually published by TSR back in the day. And if we go back a little bit, like, there have been quite a few... How do I want to do this? Say this. There's been quite a few RPGs about Marvel. But yeah, this is like one of the big ones. Came out in 1986. This was actually probably one of the very first superhero role-playing games. And it's like, oh, all right. Let me do... I always know it says this. Yeah. Now, one of the big things about Marvel here is that I have had people still claim this is the best superhero RPG ever. Just hands down, this is the best RPG ever. And, you know, when it comes to superheroes anyway, because they give you a lot of options, you can play all your favorite characters. It's like, oh, all right, cool. There was also a Marvel TRPG, which was this one, which I believe, Heroic Role-Playing, which was Margaret Weiss Productions. Where was it? Yeah, which used Cortex Plus. This came out in 2012. Now, Margaret Weiss, actually, that's all they do is Cortex stuff. But it's like, cool. Like, they did Firefly, Smallville. I have them set up for a few cases, actually. Smallville and Firefly are in a case. It's just putting things together in that regard. But yeah, it's like, here's the Marvel game. Oh, well, God, there's more. I didn't even realize there were more of these. Yeah, there's Marvel Role-Playing, which was published by this Marvel Comics, which is Saga-based. We have Marvel Superhero Adventures game, which was also the Saga game. Was also Saga. So, yeah, no, if you haven't quite realized that there's quite a lot of Marvel and TRPGs actually go together quite actively. Which is it's a little bit weird, right here. It's kind of odd when you think about that, but yeah, they go together very actively, in fact. Like, they have been pretty together in that for a while, but we're not looking at these ones. No, we're looking at this. Marvel Multiverse, let me bring up the full name. Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Ugh, fucking mouthful. This is the game we're going to be looking at today. This is the official brand new one. Brand new RPG. You can, most famous superheroes, or create your own. Fantastic new ones. Now, the weird thing is, this is the very strange aspect of it. This is the playtest. Yeah, no, it's, have you purchased the playtest rulebook? And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to... okay. So, this is the... don't look. Roll. Okay, we'll do like roll 20. Fuck roll 20. But like, you can buy the playtest for $10. Like buying the playtest, or you can buy the multiverse role playing game right here on like roll 20. They have like, all I'm saying, like, this was a... Jesus, go away. This was a dedicated thing. It's $10 effectively, and you can buy the official playtest rulebook, which kind of was the thing that put it on my radar. There was a DC University RPG. Paying for playtest filled with piss and vinegar. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this was really weird to me. Now, mind you, if it was like, here's a super cool brand new playtest rulebook, it's gonna be super cool. And if they called it like Marvel cinematic, Marvel Multiverse role playing game basic edition or basic playtest or something, if it was like basic edition and just, here's the thing, this would be and just a PDF. Cool. I'd be fine with it. That would be completely okay for me. And I would be like, neat, all right. And it's like, all right, that'd be fine to me. But it's... here... The weird thing is, like, you can buy this as a physical book, which I don't know why. And they, like, clearly they want you to get involved. Like, clearly this is, like, a big deal for them. You can kind of see all of the heroes that they have. Unlock source view character. We improve the character profile for it. And do all the little, yeah. You gotta buy the playtest to pretty much access all this information. Or the RPG Nexus. And how, or we gotta create it. And we gotta sign on to get everything. This is what bamboozled me about this game. And I was like, I gotta go in here and I gotta learn. I gotta do it. So I want to unlock nope, gotta buy it. Have no fear. I have to buy $10 to get the option to play the playtest. Yeah, this was an interesting adventure, let's say. Like, it's a little bit odd, explore free preview content. Wow, everybody, we got free content. It's odd to think that I know people have paid money for this, and that's the part that makes me, how do I want to word this? That's the part that makes me doubt humanity. That's the thing about this entire thing that like disappoints me the most, is that I know damn well you fuckers have paid for this. You motherfuckers have fucking paid for the goddamn Marvel Multiverse role-playing gay RPG to play it. I know, and that's where things get, it's like, oh Lord, oh boy, oh Lord. But through some backroom dealings, negotiations with third parties, my clever sources, your boy Notepad's got himself a copy. Now you may be wondering, Notepad, this looks like complete ass. Yes, because it's a fucking scan. Hell, I'm not paying $10 fucking for this shit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not paying $10 fucking. Now, this is 124 pages. This is not a small thing. Like, this is 124 pages. And right here, 2023, more superheroes, more villains, more power sets, more origins, profession stories, more narrator tips, and more adventures. Now, again, if you were to say this is basic version, cool, I could go with it. But the thing is, it's not. I know it's not. That's the problem. Right here, it's clearly not. Mostly when you consider, this is the most updated errata I could find. And there were some pretty bad things going here. Like, there's some little things that people were commenting on. And I'm going to kind of show some of the details, let's say, of like why things are, like what was going on, what was happening. When people were saying pay to be an editor, they weren't lying. Now, let's see, people buy that. Give me your commission sheet, gonna make it for later. I will hand out the commission sheet later. PM me on Discord for it, just so I remember. But yeah, no, I did not scan this in. By the way, I fucking hate scanning. I used to do it all the time when I worked at a copy center. But yeah, this is it. Now, the writer, from what I see, is this Matt Forbeck. Now, if we do a little bit of searching, a little bit of let's look. I haven't really done any. I didn't really do any finding on this guy. I literally went in and I just made a character. I read through the book. I'm curious. Oh fuck, he's from Wisconsin. Okay, so he wrote Mutant Chronicles, Deadlands, Brave New World, the role-playing game. Okay. Tales from the Loop, and then Mark. So he hasn't even fucking done anything for. See, this is the weird part. Like, let's see. Lord of the Rings role-playing game. Independence Day. What were you doing? Because if we look here, Matt, these are the games Matt wrote. Mutant Chronicles 93, Deadlands in 96, Brave New World in 1999. This is by the entertainment group, AEG, so this would be. Yeah, so this would be. Okay, this would be the system for Deadlands. So since, yeah, no shit, he would probably do it. Tales from the Loop, additional writing. Guild, like, and then a lot of books. I'm seeing a lot of books, a lot of comics, a lot of novels. This is the most, like, soy-inducing nightmare. Have you reviewed Tales from the Loop? No, not yet. I don't really know where to put it. So, Star Wars versus Star Trek. Could the Empire kick the Federation's ass and other galaxy-shaking enigmas? I can hear the Redditors screaming right now, and it hurts. The Blood Bowl, yeah, like, it's like one of those weird things when there's like this huge gap. Like, apparently, so actually, I want to see just not your video games, because apparently he did a lot of video games. Lot of video games. But let's just do tabletop games. Just show me your tabletop games. Shotguns and Sorcery, which was the Cypher system, and Marvel Cinematic Role-Playing. Who are you? Okay, give me one moment. I love getting phone calls randomly. But yeah, it looks like Matt here actually hasn't... Matt hasn't really done that much. Like, Shotguns and Sorcery, that was Cypher System. That's Monty Cook's game. Like, I remember seeing this, I'm like, oh, it's Cypher System. Cool. And then I left. Kickstarter, yeah, it's Kickstarter and Outland Entertainment. Full Moon Enterprises. Like, have any of you heard of Shotguns and Sorcery? Be honest with me. Have any of you heard of this game before? Here, you know what I'll even do? I'll bring it to the boys. Has anyone heard of Shotguns and Sorcery? Opinions? Question mark. Have any of you heard of Shotguns and Sorcery? Okay. Yeah, Matt, I'm not seeing much on Map. I'm seeing a lot of like books and stuff. I'm seeing Marvel Heroes Battle Dice. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Which brings, and this is his. Who he is. Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Yeah, we're gonna... yeah, so Matt is... Yeah, Ethical Explosives. If you want a really good one, it's Crimson Rogue. He's a book YouTuber guy. He went over that entire book. It's hilarious how shitty it is. It's hilarious. But like, here's the thing. Ethical. Like, how do I want to do this? This is like, he clearly is experienced. Here's the thing. He's clearly experienced. He has all the information. He has everything you need. But his actual experience with role-playing it, writing a role-playing game, has about a 20-year gap in it. Now, mind you, this is writing a role-playing game by himself. There's no system here. He made the system. That's where things get a little bit weird. So, what is this game at the end of the day? It's a Marvel game. You kind of even see Matt Capps, Matt Forbeck, John Nee, writer Matt Forbeck, cover, Like, there's 3 people working on it. Now, interestingly enough, Mike Caps. Who the fuck is Mike Caps? Mike Caps. Because he's credited first. That's the weird thing. And if you're credited first, that means you're... Yeah, the thing is that the fact that he's being credited first is telling me... Tell me more, Mr. Caps. Is that literally him? That can't be him. Let's see. Does anyone... Oh my god, it is. Yeah, it is. From what I can tell, neither of them table Caps worked in video games, neither does board games. So this has to be him. So this is the guy doing it? Wait. Wait a fucking second. Yeah, this is the fucking guy. This is the writer of the D61. What? This is one of the guys this is one of the fucking guys who made Fortnite. You can't make this shit up. Oh, what the fuck? I didn't even realize this. Like, this is literally one of the guys who fucking worked on Fortnite. Yeah, this is a literal Fortnite gamer who... He doesn't even have tails. Like, he's run... Like, years ago, I spoke about how running D&D campaigns prepared me to design video games. Today, I lecture on how designing video games prepared me to co-design a TTRPG system. And the thing is, this is the weird thing. Now, this could just be an oversight. This could just be a little thing. However, Caps here has first billing. Now, for those who don't know, when you are writing out something, it's who is ever on the farthest left. I don't know if it's like right to left languages do this differently. I don't know. But on traditional left to right languages, the further left you are is the higher priority. So if 2 people were to write like a paper together and I write 55% of it, you write 45% of it, it would go Notepad Anon, your friend, my friend. That would be that's how you would write it. If it was you wrote more, it would be them wrote, you, then Notepad Anon. Alphabetical doesn't matter. Now, here's the thing. If you say this is all alphabetical, just to kind of put it in there, I would be okay. But Matt Forbeck would be going first. Or again, it's kind of weird. I'm like, if it's just purely alphabetical, it's kind of weird, unless you're going by last names alphabetical, but that's weird too. All I'm saying is that I'm a little bit, Let's see. Interestingly enough, the project lead was one of the initial playtester, Julianne Caps. So one of the system designers, I think wife, was the playtester. Nick Forbeck. Oh, wow. Oh, okie dokie then. It's little things like this. Pat Forbeck. It's little things like this that tip me off. Because the thing is, like, there's no company here. Like, is there... Dedication to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Gary Gygax and Dave Aronson. Oh. So... This is the other interesting thing. Marvel Multiverse role-playing game playtest rulebook, first printing 2022, published by Marvel Worldwide Incorporated, subsidiary of Marvel Entertainment. So yeah, no, this was actually Jennifer Gunwald, director of publication specialist. Yeah, no, so this is a Marvel hired. Marvel had to go out of their way to pick up these 3. Who's John Nee? Let's find John Nee here real fast. This is already hitting comedy levels I didn't think was possible. Yeah, so this is John Nee, which Marvel lays off publisher John Nee. Oh. 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 Nani? Nani? What the fuck? Yeah, so this is John Nee. Yeah, so this audience set comics on Backpack on popular Twitter, both longtime fans. Yeah, so this is 2 years later they sacked him, but now apparently he's working here. All right, this is playtesters, yeah. Follow the money. Yeah, like this is getting weird already. Yeah, there's a lot of okay, all right. No, yeah, no. So someone pointed out like so yeah, no, okay. Wait, no, it's not. It's not by. It can't be. Look at the cover artists. Even Coelho and Jesus Bertov. These aren't. What's going on with this book? I didn't realize this before. No. We have to look away. What the fuck is going on? What in the goddamn? Okay, but regardless, fuck it. Who cares? This is what we have now. Haha. So introduction. What's the Marvel movies? What's all this? Here's the book. You're holding one down. Using the book. And they want you to go to have the questions go to marvel.com/RPG. We were there because they want everyone to go to the Marvel website, which is kind of a big deal. And that's actually where you can find the errata. Yeah, so if you actually want to get the errata to play the game accurately, you have to go there. It's like, okay, choo-choo. Now, these are also, there's a special set of dice. There's 3d6s. And what they want you to do is they want you to get the special Marvel dice, which I can guarantee you are going to be sold at a premium. However, the official Marvel Multiverse role-playing game sets will be available for sale separately, although regular dice will just do. So, you're going to need 3d6. This is a 3d6 game at its core. I want you to remember that. Now, we have character sheets at the back of the book. Character sheets are pretty simple. Now, obviously, I'm going to be bringing in the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Widower, to assist us in this. Say hello to Henry Tudor, part of the Mighty Mercantile Guild. He's from Surrey. He's a weird science. And as you can see, he is a bruiser. He's going to be rank 10, he is Spider-Man tier according to this game. Here's his basic stats, all his abilities. Now, if you notice this right away, you'll notice that there are no skills. Your skills you don't really have skills per se. There's no skills or anything. It's not like you're going to have like an athletic score or something. That's not a thing. 99% of what you do is going to be abilities right here, your powers, or these traits. Now, a lot of these traits are also very standard stuff, and some of them don't actually do anything. They are there for reasons. They do something, but nothing like directly numbers-wise. So yeah, I do have the errata. Ha ha ha! Hydra hooligans have tampered with our Marvel Multiverse role-playing game playtest rulebook. Wow! Yeah, no, I'll go over some of the differences here. You'll notice 20 to 25, 20 to 25, 20 to 25, very common. But yeah, this is a very simple game, if that makes sense. Like, this is not a very complicated game. So play it safe, be considerate. I do like this though. They don't talk about safety tools at all, which I feel very interesting, which is another reason why this game kind of got a little bit of flack from people at like fucking Polygon. I remember that Polygon published an article about it, and it was like, it's out of touch because it didn't have like safety tools in it. They don't have any of that. This is like, hey, play it safe. Like, they're doing exactly what I do and what any sane and rational human being should be able to do. Just come up with session 0 and do stuff like that. Like, what kind of characters do you want to play? Then you see like, oh, this is about playtesting. So what's the actual game we're going to be playing? What's the actual like minute-to-minute game we're going to be playing? It's a 3d6 system. The basic idea is that you're going to be performing an action check, which is going to be 3d6 plus your ability trying to hit over a target number. That's all it is. Pretty simple, right? We've established the absolute basics. We've done it, kids. So I'm gonna get my 3d6 out here just so I can more accurately do this. However, there's a catch. There's a big catch. So anytime a character makes checks, action check, you roll d6s. This particular configuration of dice is referred to as the D616 because the Marvel Universe takes place in the 616 universe. Extremely experience-based gameplay. Negative 1-star review. He is a merchant guilder. We're all merchant guilders. Oh, when they're saying like, oh, here's the math. Like, here's the math and stuff. Those people are stupid. Also, thank you, Jedi Jack Attack 1. You poor bastard. Yeah, it's now that you mention it, it's a little bit like that. However, here's the gimmick. So, you know, the official Marvel role-playing game has a special Marvel logo in place of the 1. If you don't have the Marvel dice, just anything. If it rolls a 1, okay. So, you'll roll D616, apply action modifiers, compare the roll. Okay, this is where things get weird. And I'm going to use Henry Tudor here as an example. Let's say I need to make a might check. It's going to be DC 20. You know, it's going to be a target number 20. I'm going to take my dice. I'm going to roll, and I got a 5, 8. I add to my 8 might, and oh, actually, no, it wouldn't be 8 might. It would 15 might. Okay, well, okay, we're just going to roll. I roll this. So I have a 3 on my Marvel dice, a 2 on one, and a 1 on the other. I just add that all together. This is where things start getting weird, though. Is if you roll on your Marvel dice a 1, it counts as a 6, as long as the other 2 are not fail. Like, as long as they aren't 1s, it's fine. It counts as a 6. Your 1s count as 6 on the special dice. However, there's 2 situations that can occur. Okay, there's 3 types of rolls that you can do. There's 3 types. Option A is your Marvel dice rolls anything except a 1, and you roll anything else. You just add all the dice together. Now, your Marvel dice rolls a 1, and you roll 2 dice on either side. Actually, there's 4 results. In your dice roll just basic things like a 6 and a 3, for example. You add 6 plus your Marvel die, which would be 6 and 3. You'd add that all together. However, if you roll all 1s, for example, you botch. That is a critical super failure, and you suck and everybody hates you because you suck in your job. Awful. Don't do that. You don't want to botch the roll. However, if your 2 other dice pop up as 6, and the Marvel dice shows up as 1, you've got a ultimate fantastic roll of 18. And these are even better. Now, what do these actually mean? This is where things get even stranger. And you may say like, oh, the chances are really low. Not really. I'm gonna say that not super really. Now, the fantastic roll is that if you roll a 1 on that Marvel dice at any point, 1 in 6 chance, you are going to get a fantastic result. Something weird is going to happen. It's pretty much like a crit in a way. The fact that you've rolled a 1 means you critted. Now, there are 3 kinds of these fantastic rolls. This is what I mean by things get a little bit weird. Is if you succeed at the check, normally, you're just going to get a cool and. It's like, here's a might check. Well, you climb up and you zoom up real fast and you get a fantastic success. It's like, I need to climb the wall. I roll a fantastic success. It's, I climb the wall really fast and surprise the guys on the other side. They don't even know you're there. Oh! If you fail the roll, however, but still get that fantastic result, still get a 1 on the Marvel dice, the Marvel side, you get a fantastic failure, which is like, you hop over the wall and, you trip or something. You kind of fall on fall on the ground when you get over there. It's a new result. Something cool and interesting has happened. Now you have to deal with it. If you get a 616, otherwise known as 6 on your 2 other dice, 1 on the Marvel dice, you instead get an ultimate fantastic, which is the super duper awesome roll where you like jump over and you land on somebody's face and they die instantly or something. Where if you get a 1-1-1, it's you fall, you jump over the fence, you fall on your face, and everybody is alerted. You don't realize how many little rolls you can get, how many little results you can get from a single fucking roll. And you want to know what? I don't hate it. Like, that's the controversial opinion from your boy Notepad. I don't hate this system. Because it's giving you a lot of stuff to do with a single roll of the dice. And I kind of like it. However, I would have liked it more if it was like a 2d6 system, plus the Marvel dice is kind of like its own. If they didn't word it D616, I think I would like it more, but the fact that they word it as such gets things a little bit weird. Because they never represent it as 2d6 on one side and then the Marvel die on the other. They never represent it as such. They put it always in the middle like it's a standard die roll. However, the problem is, your Marvel die is more important than anything, unless it isn't important. You have a 1 in 6 chance of that die being boring. Actually, you have a 5 in 6 chance of the die being boring and a 1 in 6 chance of it being a crit, effectively, which is weird. The numbers are weird in this game. And I like here's the thing. When I say I like it, this is with the astronomically large asterisks, but I like it, but it's weird. Yeah, that's just mind you, a 666 and 18, 616 they're both the same result. That's why I say, like, the fact that there's a 1 on the the chances are weird in this game. The math is weird. And and it's like, I get it. I'm in it though. I'm like, all right. I'm a little bit weird, but I'm kind of digging it. All right. Yeah, it's like, really gonna ignore any trouble. Target numbers. And mind you, every single thing I said that was like, oh, this is kind of neat here. Now, picture all that and flush it down the toilet, because we have how the target numbers work. This is how they explain target numbers. Modifiers by adjective. So target numbers range from 8 to 40. Defaulting in action checks are challenging TNs are ranked table below are the TN for challenging reactions on each rank. They don't. So your rank determines what a challenging TN is going to look like. For example, because Henry is rank 10, a standard roll for him, a challenging roll, no modifiers, is 23. However, if I were to say, for example, this is a routine check, this would be only 21. But this is a impossible check. It would be a 20, it would be a 30. Now you're seeing where things get stupid. Really dumb in this game. The one part of the game I'm not a big fan of. So this is the way they also phrase it for some fucking reason. For instance, imagine that Colossus and Nightcrawler are paragliding on vacation and decide to zoom through a tiny hole in a cliff. A ridiculous task for a rank 5 character. A rank 5 task has a challenging TN of 19. So a ridiculous task is 19 plus 4. With agility 8, Colossus needs to roll a 23 minus 8 equals 15 or better to succeed. On the other hand, Nightcrawler needs to roll a 9 or better to succeed. I don't know why they do this. Because here's the secret. You have to add this action modifier to your roll. That's how it goes. So to roll, let's say for a might check here, I need to roll a challenging might check is 23. I need to roll 3d6 plus 15. Oh wow, I succeeded because it's 15. That's where it's like, what the fuck? Like, all right then. Like, it's very weird. I don't know why it is this way. Yeah, they do not present the information here well, but like the basic idea, all right. The majority of the time, you're just going to be making like opposed checks, which your defense score is the target number they need to hit you. As you can kind of see, I have a 28 defense in my might, 27 in my agility, 27 there. They need to beat that score by adding their own action modifier total, plus whatever their die roll is, plus whatever modifiers it is. When they were talking about, like, there's a weird amount of math in this game, there is, but not in the way that you think. It's not hard math, but it's not hard math, it's just presented poorly. Now, I was referencing earlier, like, oh, hey, there's ways to modify the dice. Well, here it is. This is edge and trouble, otherwise known as advantage and disadvantage. So if you have edge on a dice, let's say, for example, I roll a 1, 2, and a 3 on my Marvel die. This isn't very good. So what I'm going to do is, if I have an edge, I can take one of my dice and re-roll it. I got a 5 instead of a 1. I've improved. Things have gone better. Awesome, 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 awesome. And if you can get as many edges as you want, and you can just say, okay, and you can re-roll dice as much as you want as long as you have edge. However, if you have trouble, on the other hand, if you got trouble, is that you take a dice and you roll, and you take your highest dice, 5 in my case, and then re-roll it. I got a 2. That's how it is. And you can re-roll the Marvel dice as well. So if you have an edge on something, and let's say you roll a 6 and a 6, and your Marvel dice coming up as like a 3, if you've already kind of succeeded at a check, you can just re-roll the Marvel dice until you get a 1. It's like, cool, I've got it. That's what I mean, like, it's a... That's bizarre because it means lower level characters can do the same task but at lower required roll. Well, ethical explosives, this is where that's where it gets weird, because your rank determines not necessarily your how do I want to word this? Your rank determines a lot, but if you want to do something, say, if a rank 10 and a rank 5 character are performing the same action, the rank, it might be a really simple check for a rank 10 character compared to you as a rank 5. That's what they're trying to go at there. To you, the rank 5, it's a challenging check. To them, it's a trivial check. It's a non-factor. It doesn't really affect you at all. Even worse when you consider the action modifiers drastically increase the higher your rank is. Rank 1 characters are, as we like to call in the biz, suffering. I have no idea why you would ever play rank 1 in this game. Yeah, it's you get a lot of little things here. It's a very strange game, because here is Peter Parker. This is our boy. This is Spider-Man, and here's all his various stats that he gets, because he is a polymath. He's pretty much a hero that can do everything okay. And these are all his speeds. This is all his powers, his utility abilities. He is very focused. He is Spider-Man. And Spider-Man does Spider-Man. Teams, Avengers, Fantastic Four, Spider Army. Yes, he can be part of the Spider Army. He is also, as you can tell, a manlet at only 5'10". 0 out of 10. Yeah, he goes over all this. These are all his little traits. All his little abilities. Now, this is one of the big things. This is like a big thing that they're marketing, by the way. This is like a big thing that they want you to understand. Bicycle Man, Moomin Rider. Making Moomin Rider in this game is actually very easy. You're going to get your shit rocked, by the way, as a Moomin Rider. It's possible, but you're going to die. Now, Spider-Man is a rank 10. And these are all his abilities. This is what they kind of want you to play in a way. They want you to be able to grab one of these little cards, or like grab something and then play that character. Hey everybody, I'm playing Spider-Man. Woo! Or it's like someone like, okay everybody, well, let's play some Marvel, multiverse role-playing. And everyone's like, all right, here, one shot. You're going to play Spider-Man. You're going to play Spider-Gwen. You're going to play Noir Spider-Man. Here's Spider-Man 2044. Here's Pig Spider-Man, Gun Spider-Man, Mecha Spider-Man, Groot. Like, pick one of those and be like, all right, cool, I'm playing Mecha Spider-Man, I guess. Neato Burrito. Like, you can play. That's what they want you to do, I think, in a way. They don't really want you to make your own characters. They want you to play the Marvel game. They want you to play the Marvel characters, which is... There was a very unique conversation the other day on TG about this, actually. And in canon game, in franchise role-playing games, do you feel it's appropriate to stat out characters from, the franchise? Or, like, do you think it's weird that somebody would want to, like, play a character from the franchise? And it's like, it makes sense. And Marvel's been known for that. Almost all the Marvel RPGs have had that as kind of like a base assumption. And yeah, if you want, you can play Spider-Man right now. Here you go. This is how you play Spider-Man. Now, yeah, it's like, all right. Now we're going to get to the character profile. Now, this was the thing that was causing, and I'm going to say this, can I play Moon Knight? He's not in right now, but I'm assuming, yeah, you'd be able to pick up the Moon Knight character sheet and play Moon Knight. They have tactically chosen which ones are available. Let's just say that. Now, the character's rank measures their experience, training, and raw power. It also determines how many points a player can spend on ability scores and how many points power sets, powers, and traits hero can pick. All right. Your rank is effectively like a level, you could say. It's how good you are at being a hero. However, the way they do this is, and I want to say this very affectionately, fucking stupid. So, You know, they're playing young shield operatives, you might start at rank 1. But if you're going to be the Avengers and fight off a Skrull invasion, you might start at rank 10, 15, or even 20. So, rank 1, you're just getting started. A day ago, a week ago, a month ago, you thought you were a normal person, but now things are changing fast. At rank 1, you are literally helpless. You have only one, like, very simple traits. You maybe have one power. Your stats suck. Like, playing rank 1 is nightmarishly awful. I thought about making, like, a bunch of different ranks for Widower here, just to see, like, how it would look, but I'm like, I'm not doing that. Fuck that. Rank 5, some of your powers manifested, and you've gained some experience. You can guard a neighborhood, just like Daredevil guards Hell's Kitchen, or join a team like the Defenders to protect the city. They kind of address that, mostly because the powers kind of suck. But yeah, it's like, okay, so these are like Daredevil level. Okay, rank 10, you're an experienced and formidable superhero. You can protect the city like Spider-Man protects New York, or join a nationally renowned team like the Champions or Alpha Flight. This is, they rank Spider-Man at rank 10. Now, if you're noticing, your rank is determining not necessarily your power, but like your breadth of experience. So, Daredevil's done things before, but he still is only going to be rank 5. Spider-Man is rank 10 because he protects New York, or Manhattan, more like it. Rank 15 is you're like Black Panther or Captain America. You can join an internationally known team like the Avengers, or the Fantastic Four, or the X-Men. You can be your country's champion, one of the most powerful superheroes in the nation. Now, this gets a little bit odd because if you, going by the way that it's saying here, if you're playing Captain Lithuania, and as Captain Lithuania, you would technically have to be rank 15. However, if you're playing Spider-Man, you'd only be rank 10. I remember this was actually like a big deal people were actually complaining about quite heavily, because what it kind of is saying is that your rank is determined like the scale of conflicts rather than what your actual power levels are, kind of thing. Spider-Man is, to put it lightly, fucking hard. He's a big, strong motherfucker when he wants to be. And he never goes Fallout, but it's been shown time and time again. Spider-Man can kick your ass. He is a nightmare on the field when he really wants to be, and he's influenced events far beyond New York, but he never does it because he doesn't need to. Fuck you, Captain Lithuania is the best. Oh, go Captain Lithuania! Yeah, if Captain Lithuania just has the power of an AK and doesn't really do anything else, he still would be rank 15. He would still be far more powerful than anyone else. Which leads you to things like rank 20, your most powerful superheroes on the planet, like Thor or Doctor Strange. You can protect the globe all by yourself, and even elite teams like the Avengers eagerly welcome you to their ranks. You are rank 25, the absolute highest. You are powerful enough to intervene in interstellar conflicts and single-handedly change the outcome, like Captain Marvel or the Silver Surfer. You make choices that decide the fate of entire star systems. So, generally speaking, we have a very unique problem. Now, I don't know if you're seeing it, but I think you all can kind of reason out. The game has to account for, I am literally, I am, what's your superhero name? I'm Bat Kid. What's your superpower? And then you hit him with a gun. Like, then you shoot him with a gun. Like, you're like barely anything. You're Moomin Rider. You are a dude who does things. All the way to, I am going to play Captain Marvel and absolutely annihilate your asshole. And it's like, oh, sweet Jesus. Because the problem is, and this is usually the issue with like really like high power scaling games. Yeah, that's a problem with almost all superhero systems. That's the issue. Some of them kind of get around it. If the super case ever really gets chosen, some of them get around it by virtue of like just restricting the like play area down. Like, for example, like if you were to like, if I were to do this down, what I would say is you'd be doing like rank 5 to 15. That's the scale, entirely the scale we're looking at here. No more, no less. You're not going to be pathetically weak. You're going to have some powers. You're going to kind of be able to do stuff. But most things are going to be rank 10. Rank 10 is fun. Everybody wants to play fucking Spider-Man. Like, rank 10 to me is like a good solid rank. You're kind of powerful. You're kind of important. But you're not like, you can't kill everyone. You're not this unbeatable god. You can still fail. You're still fallible. And that's kind of the problem. But like the fact that they have to account for Moomin Rider as well as Captain Marvel, you end up with a situation where it's like, ooh, no. Yeah, Mass accidentally was the game that did it by having you all rank 1. There's another super. We'll pull it. I can pull it up here because I like this game. By the way, I think it's very cute. It's a very cute game. But this is Biff Bam Kapow, where you were effectively restricted down to a very certain kind of character, and you can't get super powerful because that's not the point. It's time for some silly, goofy Biff Bam Kapows. This is the kind of character you're going to be playing. Where I like that. I think that's very, how do I want to, appropriate in a way. Superhero games that are able to restrict themselves and show restraint are usually better than anything else. This game does not. Now, the thing is, because they couldn't help themselves, you don't just have your rank, you also have an archetype. Now, your archetype is a lot more important than you think it is. These are effectively your class. However, it's not your class necessarily. This is, for lack of a better word, your archetype is a class that flavors your powers in a way. Some are better than others in doing certain things, but at the end of the day, they're going to flavor your powers to do certain things. So, you can have similar powers and you have totally different archetypes, and they're going to change things pretty drastically in a bad way. So, the basic classes are Blaster, Fast but Fragile, Bullseye, Cyclops, Hawkeye, and the Human Torch, Bruisers, Colossus, Juggernaut, Hulk, The Thing, Genius, Inventors, Strategists, Manipulators, Doctor Doom and Mr. Fantastic, Polymath, which are the good at everything. They're just good at everything, which is weirdly enough, and like, this is one of the weird things, is that they say famous polymaths include Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Thor. The problem is with polymath is the yes option. None of these rest of you really fit what you want. Play a polymath. You're going to have the best of literally all worlds, and there's nothing you can do. And it's like, oh. Okay, and then we have Protectors, Strikers. Yeah. Protectors, the Invisible Woman, Professor X, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange isn't a genius, he's a protector, very different. Strikers are tough as bruised. Strikers hit hard and move faster. Yeah! Daredevil, Elektra, Iron Fist, and Wolverine, which here a Wolverine is imagined as being awful. We have our basic six scores. Our basic 6 scores are might, agility, resilience, vigilance, ego, logic. Get it, everyone? It spells marble. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a strength, dex, con, wisdom, charisma, intelligence. These are not exactly new attributes, let's just say that. You can call them something different, but at the end of the day, strength, agility, con, strength, dex, it's strength, dex, con, wisdom, charisma, intelligence. They put them in different orders. That's literally all it is. Now, not exactly the most interesting thing in the world. You have your health abilities, you have your focus. Technically, they're like two, like, the thing is, your health and your focus are like 2 different health bars, but this is like a mana bar for some abilities. But if you ever hit 0 focus, you're effectively out of the fight until they can get you back up. Because focus is, if you run out of focus, you enter like a catatonic state, because I guess. Earning karma is your ability to actually do things, which allows you to get an edge or negate trouble. Which is, oh no, I didn't roll, I rolled terribly, I rolled a 2, 4, and a 1, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm going to spend the karma and re-roll one of my dice to get a better score. Or you can also spend karma to give an attacker trouble, pretty much make them roll less. Yeah. You can also get karma by playing well. This is a Benny system, effectively. You're going to get your little bennies if you play your character right. Speed, yeah, because, oh yeah, I forgot. This entire game is played on a grid. They want you to play this on a grid. This is not, no grid space. It's 5 foot squares. You're going to make your 5 foot squares. You're going to make your movements. This is not exactly the most unique game in that regard, including damage. Damage, we'll get to damage, trust me. Power sets and powers are backstories. Currently, they don't have many origins. These are like the things that you are. Our origins so far are alien, high-tech, magic, mutant, special training, weird science. And your basic professions are criminal, doctor, lawyer, journalist, investigator, outsider, ruler, scientist, soldier, spy, student, tycoon. Do you want to play? Yeah, you just pick an origin, pick one of these. Henry Tudor here is weird science, and I had to make an aristocrat because all this is usually this is 1 or 2. These are 1 or 2 traits. These are 3 traits. That's all that is. Yeah, traits are special circumstances. Now, combat. Wow, combat, everybody. This is the thing that you wanted to come here for. Get ready for range modifiers and size modifiers. Whoop, whoop. We love modifiers. Yeah, I get what people were talking about when it comes to the math. This is what a lot of the game boils down to, are these little charts and things like this. It's like, yeah, hey, you're a tiny object. You get a -8 to hit them, but if you do hit them, you're going to do +8 damage. Which is things like, oh, you're colossal. It's easy to hit them, but you're going to do a lot less damage to them. In order from highest initiative results. If you get a fantastic roll on your initiative check, and you're going to get the bonus round, which is pretty much like it's the surprise round. I like it. I think it works. Basic. Have you ever played any combat in any game ever before? You know how to fucking play combat in this game. Oh, I'm going to hold my action. Wow, never heard of that one. Reserving action. Wow, never heard of that one fucking before. Wow, look everyone, it's easy actions. Activate powers. Communicate. Grab ally. Pick small thing up. Standard action. You can take a single stab. Standard action. Now, range attacks is like all these attacks. You can just do these things if you want. It inflicts range damage on That's it. If you just say, hey, I'm going to punch you. You know, if Henry wants to punch someone, we look at it, and we look at their defense score, and they say, I'm going to punch you with my might. Technically, I would have rolled a fantastic here because I rolled an 8 plus 1, which would be a 6 in this situation. So that would be a 14 plus 7, actually plus 15 because there's another modifier there. So it would be a 29. Beat your defense score. I'm going to hit you and deal damage. What's my fight? Oh, look, everyone. I'm going to deal 14 plus 25. I'm going to do 39 damage to you. Bam. There we go. Congratulations. I have taught you how to play the game. Do you want something else? There's nothing here in that regard. The big thing is, like, I guess interactions are like you can always do like one reaction, and it's things like you can put yourself between things. You know, or you can, these are the only two, which like you can stand in front of an ally to take a blow, or you can stand behind an ally to have them take a blow. Which is to say, if someone has really dumb defenses, just stand behind them and have them take every attack, which is a completely valid tactic. Not only valid, but encouraged. Now, this is where things get another little bit weird, because there's a lot of movement actions, and you can combine movement actions together. So, for example, if I want to fly and then sprint into something, I can do that. I can fly, then sprint, and it's just whatever the lowest movement speed is. So if my fly speed is 150 and my walk speed is 20, I'm going to move 20. Because I'm flying in there, I land, and then run. Yeah, swing lining. Sorry, yeah, swing lining, like Spider-Man. I don't know why they call this anything else. It's the Spider-Man ability. You can just play Spider-Man. Yeah, teleporting, sneaking, towing. Don't forget about fall damage, the controlled landings, odd falling. Most of the time, you're just going to deal damage. And oh, don't worry. We have acid damage, bashing damage, cold damage, energy damage, heat damage, force damage, piercing damage, psychic damage, shock damage, and slashing damage. Don't you worry about it, everybody. Yeah. You've already seen this before. That's the weird thing. You've already seen this before. The only other odd bit is like you can't crit on damage. You do, however, get fantastic damage. Yeah, they have an option of dealing knockback to the damage. So, pretty much when you're rolling damage and you get a fantastic result, because that fantastic result still occurs, mind you. That's why it's 3d6 damage for literally everything. You can knock them back. For every 10 points of damage, you knock them back 5 feet. There's a good chance that you can knock somebody back into a wall to have them deal damage to themselves by knocking them back into a wall. Now, what this is for someone like Henry Tudor. Henry, minimum, is going to roll 25 damage. He's going to minimum get 28 damage if he punches you. And he scores a critical success. Minimum, we'll do like the absolute minimum amount of damage possible. Actually, that would be a 1-1-2. So actually, that would be with a fantastic success. That would be 9 plus 25 damage. You are going to do 34 damage. That's like the lowest possible result for this. You're going to knock them back 30 feet and probably into a wall. You're going bang. They are going through the wall. There's entire rule set regarding getting knocked through fucking walls. And don't you forget about damage resistances, or oh no, here's all the effects of damage. Oh no. Yeah, this is if you get demoralized, you just end your turn. You have trouble on all your act. Don't get demoralized, please. If you get demoralized, the game turns very unfun because you can't hit anything. Interestingly enough, you do have the option of hold. This is a default thing. You hold back all your attacks. So every single one of your attacks is technically will never kill anybody in most cases. If you punch someone real hard, you're going to leave them 1 point away from death. If you hit someone super hard, there's a chance you're going to kill them outright. But at the general thing, it's like, yeah, if a player wants to be even more careful, they can tell the narrator that their character is holding back in any given attack as such that you can leave the target at 0 health or 0 focus instead. So as the Hulk, if you punch somebody, you can still possibly like make sure they don't die immediately. It's like, cool, that's fine. Yep, and we have use weapons do not increase their damage, but give them ability to deal different kinds of damage. Because yeah, there's no equipment. Equipment is useless in this game. Because everything is determined on these two things. Your fight damage and your range damage, which are given to you by your archetype. And healing, this is what technically the most efficient way to kill literally anybody in this game is to submachine gun them to death. Just open up with an MG and just fucking go to town. You take more damage, and this is like, here's a bunch of conditions. Oh, if you take too much damage from a piercing or slashing damage, you start to bleed and you lose a bunch of health at the end of every turn. Here's what happens if you're blinded. Here's what happens when you're deafened. Here's what happens when you're demoralized, grabbed, paralyzed, been. Yeah. Do you like having a lot of little things like this? Cool. Here's an entire bit on attacking objects, improvised weapons. Here's an entire section on how to make holes in walls. Yeah, there's literally a sub rule about making a hole in a wall. And it's like, oh, gee, yeah, this is the plowing through building. So Juggernaut throws Wolverine, Laura Kinney into the side of Avengers Tower. Attack deals 65 bashing damage. Gives her damage reduction of 15, so she takes 50 points of damage. The exterior wall of Avengers Tower takes 65 points. Plows through it. The exterior wall is ignored 40 points of damage, leaving 25 to go. Wolverine hits an interior wall, which absorbs 20 points of damage before giving way. She plows through that too, at least 5 points of damage. Yeah, you can just plow through walls, and it's like, cool. Neato burrito. I'm in. Now, this is how you build a character. Your rank, got to do your character concepts, got to do your ability scores. Most of your ability scores are entirely dependent on how many points you have. What do they say is the average? Yeah, so as you can see, this ramps up pretty significantly. It weirdly enough, it goes 5. It's increased from 5, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. Yeah. That's why I say like level 10 is like actually where you get to have some fun, because you can actually just like slap it there and have actually a good amount of points to work with. Because you have to assign them to this. This is how you assign your attributes. I think is this Deus Ex Human Revolution? Probably. Everything was Deus Ex Human Revolution. Let's see. So, yeah. Standard human level abilities range from -4 to 4. Yeah. So, I mean, like, you can add this, like, so many little fucking modifiers to things. It's like, oh, God, no. No. All your powers, all your other scores. So, this is where things get, like, depending on whatever your resilience. So, like, okay. Your character's archetype determines the base amount of health that they have at each level. Multiply their resilience by their rank. Add that to the base number to get their total health. This is what it means when I say your rank determines a lot more than you think. Because, for example, Henry Tudor has 7 resilience. He added 70 health. It's because he's ranked 10 to his base health. 70 points of health. Now, let's do a little bit of finagling. If I was ranked 25, I would add 175 health to my pool. And this isn't just for this. Like, your rank determines an absurd amount. Your focus, your vigilance, you multiply their vigilance by their rank and add that to the base number to get their total focus. Yeah, so technically, if you have a negative value, there's a good chance you're going to get like a ridiculously low amount. So they have to, like, the thing is, having like a -1 in this, you have to like compensate for that. Like, I have a -10 to my focus because Henry has a -1 in vigilance. And that's a big amount. That's I would have normally about 80. I think I would have 80 points of focus, but I don't because I chose to have a -1 in there. Yeah. Like, cool. Base karma is equal to half their rank rounded up. So the higher your rank, the more shit you get by an exponential amount. You're going to get just an absurd amount of stuff because they don't want to give you just more points. That's the thing. They don't want to just give you more points to work with. So what they do is they start multiplying. You get by your resilience, by your rank. You get 5 health effectively. If you have a 5, you get 5 health every rank, which is quite a bit. You get more focus depending on your rank. You get your karma based off your rank. And all the damage begins kind of increasing gradually. And then they kind of go over like, here's Young Lion. Kind of an example character. You see rank 5 striker. Let's go all the way down here. Scan distinguishing features, history, personality, blah, blah, blah. So, archetype ability caps. These are your base ability caps. Like, these are like your basic, every archetype 2 ability scores that can be raised beyond the standard cap of 4, shown in the raised ability cap table. New caps are listed on the ability archetype. Yeah, so it's technically, if I want to be like strictly specific, I don't think Henry is actually valid as a character because I don't think he gets like the raised caps for, he doesn't even get the raised cap for agility, and I decided to give him 5 agility because it's like, what else am I going to fucking put it in? But let's see. Yeah, every arc 2 ability scores can raise beyond the standard cap of 4. So yeah, most of the time you're going to have 2, like, yeah, this is actually an invalid character. He should only have 4 agility. He should only have 4 agility. So, sorry everybody, I'm not giving, it was kind of like, I say things get a little bit complicated sometimes because they just kind of throw a lot of shit at you and be like, yep, here you go. Yeah, ability cap score with raised caps, yeah. Yeah, okay. You see, I was a little bit, it's... Yeah, HP bloat. Well, the thing is, they counter it by damage bloat. That's the thing. Now, this is where things get a little bit odd. So, you're going to get intimidated by this. And I don't doubt it. I do not actually expect you to not be a little bit intimidated by this. Because it's a lot of fucking information. However, I'm going to go here, for example. All this is saying, all the way down here, all this is saying is, for example, your might. Let's say, I'm rank 10. All I do is that for the archetype action modifier, I add whatever it is, and that's my total action modifier. And over here, you determine whatever your defense is. It's 20. So I go over here, add 20 to my defense score, get my total defense. What they do instead is give you this entire fucking table. It's very simple. It takes 5 fucking seconds to do. Very easy to understand. However, you might be noticing there's something weird. Bite damage and range damage are determined by class. Health and focus are determined by these classes. Now, people like to say, hey, all fighters feel the same, all wizards feel the same, all clerics feel the same. This is how you make characters feel similar. Because your attacks really don't do much. Because everything is going to be determined by these two modifiers, by these two things. If I want to punch anybody, it's going to be this. I want to do an attack with any weapon, any ranged weapon, it's going to be this. So if I bring out a gun and I shoot you, I'm going to be doing whatever my score is in that much damage. You know, technically, if Spider-Man brings out a gun, because Spider-Man is a polymath, actually, Spider-Man's going to do 3d6 plus 14 damage. If Spider-Man shoots you with his web slinging, he's going to do 3d6 plus 18 damage. Actually, plus 14 damage, sorry. If Spider-Man brings out a rocket launcher and shoots you, he's going to do 3d6 plus 14 damage. That is how the game works. I have no idea why they decided to do this, but that's how it is. Everything is determined by this, by these values right here. And again, it's like these massive amount of tables and shit for something that really doesn't need it. You could have presented this information a lot better, but it's not bad. Like, I was expecting, like, when I first saw the table, I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is really all it boils down into is right here. Is add all your modifiers together, add all your defenses together, end. Not hard. Not difficult. Now, in the errata, they were saying, like, modifiers and resilience and logic from level 20 to 25 were corrected. So, where is logic? Logic right here, originally they were, what they're supposed to be is this. Yeah, as you can see, they, for some reason, they spiked up for, like, massively from plus 7 to 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14. They are not supposed to do that. It goes only up to plus 9, and they only have a very, yeah. There's little errors like that through here, and you can, almost all of them have those little errors. Now, interestingly enough, wow, look everyone, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel's a polymath. No, she's not. Like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. Captain America, Steve Rogers, Iron Man, Misty Knight, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Thor Odinson. Yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. Now, all I'm saying is, if this only PDFs, it makes sense. If you bought a physical version of this, I would be pissed. I would be pissed. He's like, oh, sorry, we just made like this critical fucking error. That, you're like, here's the errata to fix it. Now, some of these don't, yeah, like, one of the big things, like, defenders get a lot of health. Polymaths get a decent amount of health, like, but like, oh, geniuses don't get that much health. Like, a genius at rank 25 only has just gotten 100 health, depending on what else score. However, as a bruiser, you can get over 100 health, like, you can get 200 health by the end of it. This is how you scale. This is how you're doing things. These are how you don't scale by what you have, you scale by whatever the hell your rank is. And when people are saying, like, oh, well, your rank determines everything, it does. It really does. Like a striker, for example, you're a martial artist. And because you're a martial artist, being a rank 10 martial artist means you're only going to do 3d6 plus 25 damage. However, by 5 ranks up, you're doing 3d6 plus 42 fight damage. 42! You've increased your amount of damage you're doing by almost 20. But so raw flats, you get a bunch more health, a bunch more focus, your stats increase, everything about you is better. And it's like, ooh, we put wrong artwork. Well, the thing is, it wasn't just wrong artwork. That's the funniest part. It's not just the wrong artwork. They write it down here as her. Like, I think at one point they wanted to make her the polymath, like, but then they decided against it and made her a blaster. That's what she's supposed to represent, apparently. Fragile speedsters. And also, you may notice there's no differences in whatever anything like this is. The striker is supposed to go into melee and start punching people. The protector is... Technically, the protector is better at shooting people than they are at punching people. So you want to get a weapon, like a ranged weapon on them. Polymaths are just good at everything because all of the polymath stats are the exact same. They get a very consistent, just flat increase to everything. If you want to play the most boring generic character possible, you're playing a polymath. It sucks. Don't play polymath. Now, obviously, we have our origins. Now, these just give you traits. Like, oh, I'm an alien. Oh, look, I'm a god. Yeah, you can be a god in this game. Like, you want to play a god? You can do it. Right now, you can play a god. Oh, I'm a high-tech. I'm magic. I'm a mutant. Mutant. Or I must have special training. I'm a weird science man. And literally just because T'Challa is in there, you have the option, like, you're the character, the leader of a city, region, state, or nation. Authority, regal, powerful. Lab access, scientific expertise. They tell you all these things, you just write it down. You can, unfortunately, play a journalist in this game. I shouldn't. And I'm allowed to meme on, and the thing is, I am allowed to meme on journalists. I was in PR. I'm your guys' worst fucking nightmare. The cod piece of the Submariner. The Submaricock. And all of these do things. Like, this is... They do things. So, like, for example... Now, mind you, they do say have, like, challenging traits. If something comes up, you get karma for it. That's how challenging traits work. So, for example, if you have authority... is a legal authority in some kind. They might have a commissioned officer, privateer, bounty hunter, doctor, firearms dealer, lawyer, pharmacist, various other things. Or you have things like battle ready. The character is always mentally prepared to fight. Add +5 focus. Yeah, these are what, like, most of the traits boil down into. And guess what? Your rank determines how many of these traits you actually fucking get. At rank 10, you get 4 of these, plus whatever your origin, plus whatever your background, actual career is. And some of these are interesting. It's like, oh, black market access. I'm blind. I like hurting people. Oh boy, you're a clinician. You know, you can make logic medicine checks, which is weird because... Do you see this? Because as an edge on logic, medicine checks to determine what is medically wrong with someone they examined. I have a strange feeling that on some point there was supposed to be a skill system, but they just took it off. I'm only rank 10 god. I'm training to beat Captain Lithuania. Hey, sorry. Captain Lithuania is level 15, man. You're going to get your shit rocked. Maybe they should have polymath and jack of all trades. Well, that's what they're supposed to be. Well, and the issue is your classes do not affect what powers you get. You choose that. So if you can, for example, spider powers. Peter Parker is a polymath. That's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be good at a little bit of everything. But you can play a bruiser Spider-Man, or a cybernetic, or you can play like a cybernetic protector, or you can play a firearms striker for some fucking reason because you're an idiot or something. I don't know. Like, you can mix any power with any archetype. And I like that. Don't get me wrong. I like that. However, the implementation isn't quite right. But yeah, these are what a lot of the traits are dealing with. And some of them are good. Others of them are not. Oh boy. The character has an edge on fight attacks against enemies of rank 5 or less. Pretty much minions. And this is just an edge. It's like, oh, cool. However, if you're playing a really super speedy character, pick up combat finesse, which allows you to just use your agility instead of might for fight checks. Why wouldn't you pick that up? That's insanely good if you're playing very certain kinds of characters. You can be weak as fuck, but if you have insane combat finesse, you can just do that. Or like reflexes. They really want you to do things like, oh, you have connections with people. You have, oh, you're a deal maker. You have an edge on checks that have to do with making deals. Edge on checks that have to do with making deals. Like, oh, you use logic instead of ego with ego persuasion and ego intimidation checks. I have... Some of these are very weird. And they very... I think the best way to word it is poorly... How... There are some that give you mechanical benefit, like strict mechanical benefits. Others of them seem a lot like niche cases. And the problem is, players are going to look at these and say, I want the thing that's going to give me exactly what I want. Yeah, oh, actually, wait a second. I think I am actually qualified to get it. See, what I should do is... what I can do to make this actually legal as a legal character, sub out determination for for enhanced physique, and it would be legal. It would be more than legal too. Like, oh, you can choose another career, which choosing another career just gives you 3 extra traits. That is what taking this ability does, is take 3 extra traits because you have a second job. Minions, yes, we want to fight minions because, well, when we get to the little adventure path below, extraordinary origin, you can take a second origin. Why would you ever do that? Like, creating a character, there are some like you would never pick, but it would make sense for like, hey, Thor has an extraordinary origin because he's a god alien, or he's a god alien. Like, all right, that makes sense. Fine, fuck it. Or you have an extreme appearance. You have enemies, fearless, fresh eyes, god heritage. The character, or at least one of their ancestors, is a god. Pick a pantheon that they belong to. Restriction: gods only. Yeah. So, yeah. If you want. Yeah, if you select the god origin, you take god heritage. So on a fight to destroy Captain Lithuania, the ranked 15 superhero, we're gonna need to pick up our god heritage to make ourselves stronger. Yeah. Oh, gullible, green door, gamma mutates. Yeah, gamma mutates only. You're heroic, you're honest, you're lab access, you're a legal eagle. Loner. The massive character size is big. Yeah, luckily I can actually play a fat dude. Yeah, you want to play a completely incompetent guy I am playing an overweight dumbass If you want to play overweight Spider-Man, you can play out of overweight Spider-Man. You also have things like Prescription Pad, which is Captain Opiate, the rank 25 superhero who's going to make sure the opiate crisis gets worse. When the character can write prescriptions for various kinds of medication. You get opiates, we all get opiates. Or and the thing is, they're all equal. The problem is all of them are equal in nature. Like, you can take on any of these if you want, or you're going to get them by doing things. Or, like, yeah, you have the X gene. Now, this is how powers work. So at rank 10, you have access to... pretty much everything is built on these power sets. And your power sets are tied to whatever your origin is. So when I said, like, it's not class, I was kind of right. But, yeah, whatever your origin is, that means you're going to get different kinds of power sets available to you. However, don't fucking care. Like, if your GM is going to get, like, you cannot take blades because you aren't good. Tell him to fuck off, man. Like, dude, who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody is gonna be like, man, I've lost. You aren't, no. But yeah, the big idea is that you can also sub out some of your power sets in exchange for one additional power. And some of these do different things. Like, hey, you're a cybernetic person. Your resilience and logic caps are increased by 6. They can add the greater of their agility and logic to their range damage with cybernetic powers. Cool, you know, does not select extreme appearance traits. Their cybernetics are assumed to be unnoticed without medical examination. Guns. Yeah, because this is one thing to know. For few Marvel heroes use guns as they generally don't want to kill anyone. However, many of their enemies may have this power set. Energy control, martial arts, plasticity, you like plastics? Shield bearer. Yes, the character uses a shield in combat. This is an entire fucking power set that you can select. I am okay because I select spider powers. I'm good. Yeah, many power webbing that can paralyze targets. They have to make a TN22 might check or get just paralyzed. Or super strength increases by 12. Tactical mastery just becomes stronger. Weather control because storms in the book. Now, you also get things like utility powers. Pretty much are everyone can take agility power, utility powers if they want. As Spider-Man, you can take Flight 2. You can take Flight 1 if you're rank 10. You can just do that. And these are how actually most things are built. I'll use this one. It's a little bit cleaner. So, for example, as someone with super strength, I can select Banging Heads, Clobber, Crushing Grip, Immovable, Jump 1, or Mighty 1. And if I get Mighty 2, it replaces Mighty 1. Mighty 3 replaces Mighty 2. Mighty 4 replaces Mighty 3. Jump 1, Jump 2, Jump 3, same idea. However, to pick up Quick Toss, I need to get Mighty 1 and Crushing Grip, and then I can pick up Quick Toss. Clobber requires me, and to get Smash, I need Clobber. To get Ground Shaking Stomp, I need Smash. To get Unrelenting Smash, I need Ground Shaking Stomp, Mighty 2, and be rank 15. And these are all of the spider powers. All of these are separate powers that to be true Spider-Man, you need to be pretty high. You need to be at least level 10, and you just have 12 powers to get all your spider powers. And it sucks. And that's like the one sad part. But yeah, now, mind you, there are a lot of these, and all of them do something slightly different. Battle suits are going to give you different things. Blades are going to give you specific things. Some of them are very much, we're going to say a lot more popular than others. Cybernetics, energy control, firearms, martial arts. Yeah, martial arts, if you want to get any, yeah, you're not going to max out. The big thing is you're not really going to max out any tree, and you're not really assumed to max out a tree. Some of them are going to make you want to, but nothing is saying you have to. And a lot of these are things like this. Like, armor, for example. Armor 1. The character has 10 damage reduction versus health damage. For a battle suit, this reflects the suit's armor. For cybernetics, protection can be layered over the skin or laced underneath. Or if it's things like, hey, you have your attack stance. The character gains +1 physical bashing damage per rank to successful fight attacks. Cool. Or it's like, okay, let's do bullet time. An enemy makes an attack against the character's agility defense. It's instant reaction. The enemy has trouble on the attack. Or you have change of plans. An ally has trouble on an attack check. Duration of 1 round. Allies gains an edge on the attack action check. A lot of the powers do boil down to if you do X, Y occurs. Nothing wrong with that. Like, for example, clobber. Clobbering time. It's clobbering times. So, a character makes a fight attack against an enemy. The attack is a success. The enemy takes fight damage. If the attack is a fantastic success, the enemy takes double damage and is knocked prone. Which is because, again, if it's a fantastic success, that means you can hit someone, knock them prone as they, hurtle off into the fucking distance. That's like, cool. You'll take double damage. Coil crush. Control all the weather you fucking feel like. Counter striking. The dance of death. Dazzling, energy absorption, energy beams, like all these are here, but most of them are things like, again, character can fly. Their combat flight speed is equal to their ranks times their running speed. Flying double kicks, and I don't hate this. I think it's fine. Not my preferred thing, but no, it's all right. I'm okay with it. Some of them are very specific, though. I will say that. Then you get things like Mighty, which... Mighty 1, +5 might ability checks. Other than that, +4 damage. Mighty 2. The character could lift a bus. Mighty 3 could lift a house. You just get massive bonuses to just about fucking everything. Operations Center. Orchestra of Overkill. Point blank parries. Rally on me. We're ramming, returning fire, we're scattering. But a lot of these do boil down to this. Again, if you really want to be the most efficient possible, if you want to be if you really want to just never die, you play something with a big amount of armor and get the shield. Because if you have armor, fun fact, if you have armor, it's just for, reduction of health damage. However, if you take shield, anytime anybody shoots you with a gun, there's a chance you will take 0 fucking damage because you just have a fucking shield and you are invincible. So it's cool. This is fine. Shields, slash and dash, slice and die, slip free, slow motion shoot dodge. And, my personal favorite, spider dodge, spider pheromones, spider sense, which spider sense is amazing because you just get a +2 bonus to all your defenses. Spider strike. Now, Henry here, this is what I went with. Again, I had quite a bit. I chose two power sets. My set was super strength and spider, which I realized a little bit too late. As you can see here by super strength, Mighty 1, Mighty 2, Mighty 3, Mighty 4, Mighty 1, Mighty 2, Mighty 3, Mighty 4. Or all the jumps here, these are technically shared between these two. And so technically I qualify for quick toss after I pick out crushing grip and things like that. Which... all I'm going to say is that some of the combinations of powers are going to go together very well. Other combinations of powers aren't. So I think people are going to probably gravitate toward powers that end up complementing each other more rather than a smorgasbord of random ass powers that seem cool. You're going to get consistent powers over going to get weird powers. And they say like, oh, well, we want to add in a bunch of new powers. Like a bunch of powers. I'm like, ew. Also get a lot of these ones, which is the character's focus is increased by their ego defense. And like my ego defense is 21, so I just added that to my focus. Like, oh, okay. Neat. Weather chill, weather warm, webcasting. Where is it? This is the hilariously very scary one. Which is anyone can take this at any time. So the trigger is as a reaction. The character can succeed if the character succeeds in an attack with an enemy within earshot, or an enemy in earshot fails an attack on them. The character cracks a joke at the enemy's expense. They take psychic damage to their focus equal to the character's ego defense. If Henry Tudor keeps shit talking, he's going to do 21 damage every round, potentially, of ego damage. And he's going to make sure that you lose your shit by just constantly wisecracking at you. As long as you can't hit him. As long as you don't hit him or he hits you, he's going to be able to cause you psychic harm. It's like awesome. I love it. It's great. And here's, again, rank 15, T'Challa. He's a striker. But even here, you kind of see T'Challa's entire thing here is that he is a striker. He's super fast. He hits like a truck. He has almost as much health as I do, double my focus at this point, and he's 5 ranks ahead of me. His action modifiers are like plus 19, plus 16. My highest one is 15. And he has a defense of 31 on his agility. I need to hit a 31 or higher to hit him. And he probably has things to make that even harder. And his damage for, his fight damage is 3d6 plus 48 effectively. And it's like, damn, and he's got 30 damage reduction. Where it's like, oh, well, here's all the things that he gets. And here's all the traits that he gets. Captain America is a brick shithouse, and he gets a bunch of different abilities as well because he is he's a polymath, because of course he is, and he gets a bunch of bonuses to just fuck my day up. Rico Shield 4, yeah. Carol Danvers, who's a blaster here, by the way. 382 focus, 275 health. Some of her saves are 39. She's a plus 28 to any agility check she makes. 39 defense. So, 3d6 effectively plus, what would that? That'd be 84? No, that's 86 damage. 3d6 plus 86 damage. Carol can one-shot me. She can almost one-shot Henry. And if you weren't Henry and built like a brick shithouse, no. Yeah, environmental healing factor. Healing factor is stupid, by the way, because if you have healing factor, you heal whatever your rank is at the start of your turn. You just heal whatever your rank is. Captain Marvel cannot die. She is almost unkillable. And it's like, damn. Like, I have like Groot, who's like just built like a brick shithouse. You know, oh no, Iron Man built like a brick shithouse. Then you have rank 10 Rocket Raccoon, whom got 60 fucking health, has 29 logic defense, but I'm just gonna throw something at him and he's gonna die. Because here's all of his various powers and stuff. Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Thanks, Spider-Man. We got this. We've got Thor. This is kind of what you're working with. And then rank 10 Wolverine. Have no fear. Later joined the X-Men and became a valued member of the various X-teams. Over time, he recovered most of his memories. He was killed in recent years, but returned to life in time to help establish a new mutant nation on the island of Krakoa. Yeah, here's some narrator notes. Ways to play on a map, ignore diagonals, working with ranks. They do say you can work with different ranks, and they effectively say, let the people who are stronger be stronger. And it's like, cool. We have various Hydra agents. This is a little sample mission they have for everybody. It's the big fight. Funnily enough, because they don't want to put in too many, each of the Hydra alternates has tech resilience trait. Tech reliance. Because all they do is just have the original heroes and then they're evil versions of the hero. That is how you that's how you are running this mission. Is you get the heroes that are already provided, and those are your enemy books. Sasuga. Fucking Sasuga, Marvel, you geniuses. And however, this is where this is what a standard villain is going to look like. They're going to be built like everybody else. This is a Hydra grunt, a Hydra agent. They have 5 health, 12 focus. They have 1 in everything except logic. They get a +3. Their defenses are like this. They can move 5 spaces. Let's see. They do 1d6 +1 damage. And they have the power of firearm sniping. And they all have pistols. So they do 2d6 damage. That's Marvel, everybody. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I want to be blunt about this one. I don't hate this game. However, here's the catch. Here's the problem. I do not hate Marvel Multiverse role-playing. I don't hate it. I think the problem with this game does boil down to the fact that it's an old game. It feels old. It feels not, that Polygon article is like, oh, it's not up to modern design. No. What I mean by it feels old, it feels like this isn't a game written in 2022, in year of our Lord 2022. Because not only do you have all these little modifiers, all these little things, it feels like, well, everyone get ready for the expansion book that's going to come. And the thing is, like, you can have things, and the fact that there's, like, so many little modifiers and so many little things where it's like, there are some clear design things that you could probably tighten up a little bit. You don't need you don't need somebody rolling 3d6, like, for fucking... Basic attacks should not be when I rolled a hit, add a +15 to something. No, because the problem is the higher ranks get, the more the dice don't matter. Or the more the modifiers stop mattering. Because rolling 3d6, if I need to hit a 15 or something, if I need to roll a 17 on my might, I don't fucking care what I roll anymore. I have a fucking +15 to it. You're rolling these, the modifiers keep getting larger and larger and larger. And it's like, okay, cool, I'm going to roll 3d6 +27 or whatever. And it's like, cool. And either the modifiers stop meaning anything because everyone's going to have like +27s or whatever, so it doesn't matter. Or your dice are going to stop meaning anything because you're going to be attacking Hydra agents with like a 15 defense and you have a 22 modifier. And you punch them and they explode and die. And that's why it's like Captain Lithuania being rank 15 is going to always trounce a level 10. Hey, they can put up a good fight, but they're not going to win because Captain Lithuania rank 15 is rolling 3d6 +35 damage when he punches you. You're only rolling 20 damage. or, or he's got more powers than you. He's been able to resist more damage. He's being able to resist bigger attacks. But I'm a god and I have all the... No, it doesn't fucking matter. Your rank is lower than his. Therefore, you are weaker than him. If there were some more examples in the books of like, what does level 18s look like? Well, what do you say is this? But everything's based on this 5 scale. So it seems kind of weird when you, the player, know Spider-Man is really strong. He can totally take on fucking like... And he can give Captain America a run for his money. Not in this game, because Spider-Man's 5 ranks lower than him, and Captain America's just going to not take any damage, because he's built like a brick shithouse, and he's going to tap Spider-Man a few times, and he's going to be on the ground. Combined with the fact that like the archetypes define so much about your character. Like, they define so much about how your character even operates. It's because the problem is, like, outside of like traits and stuff, like the blaster, for example, a level 10 blaster, all of them are going to have +7 might. They're all like, we'll use a rank 5 blaster is always going to have +5 to their might, +7 to their agility, +3 to their resilience, +5 to their vigilance, +5 to their ego, +5 to their logic. And they're going to have the same defenses. They're going to have the same abilities. And so unless those like initial points you chose to like mix around that way, but if you're playing a blaster, you already are probably going to dump in your fucking agility because you know that. And you're all going to do the same amount of damage because, oh, well, I got laser eyes and I can do a bunch more damage. No, your laser eyes are going to do the exact same amount of damage as my gun because it's just whatever the range damage is. You're going to have similar health pools. You're going to have similar focus pools. Superhero games, I feel, do best when you're allowed to tell a very particular story, or you're allowed to make very unique combinations. That's why I like Heroes of the Multiverse, fucking Heroes Unlimited, because you can make some very unique characters. Not just because I'm a fucking Kevin Sabata fanboy, but you can make some fairly unique heroes in that, and that you can hit like a freight train. You can at the same time. Sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't. Interestingly enough, I don't hate this game though. That's the odd thing. That's going to be my controversial opinion, you could say. It's a little rough around the edges, and I can respect that. Fine, okay, cool. I think the major issue with this game, and the thing that's going to haunt it forever, is that it's a Marvel game. They're going to have to use the stupid 616 system. Sounds terrible. Like, no, it works, but it's weird. It's weird that's how it's implemented. It doesn't really sound very well. And kind of like reading it on paper, it's like, well, the numbers are going to get wonky anyway. Everything has to be 3d6. The fact that you have to make powers based off what's in the Marvel Universe. And there's a lot of powers in the Marvel Universe, but you got to balance them suddenly on the Marvel Universe, because we got to make sure that we understand, how fucking Doctor Strange looks. We got to make sure we know how the Thing looks, how all the Fantastic Four looks. We got to make sure everything looks the exact way it's supposed to. Because if you don't, then people are going to get mad. So we're adding in traits, we're adding in powers, we're adding in things that are not necessarily good for the game, but are in fact good for the the universe, because of that logo up top, right up there. Even though, amusingly enough, this does mean this is the only game where you can play multiple variations of Spider-Man. You want to play Gun Spider-Man? Firearm Spider Power. You want to play the Thing Spider-Man? Guess what, everybody? Super Strength Spider-Man. Spider Power. Cyber Spider-Man? Cybernetic Spider Powers. Choose whatever you feel like, and you can make a Spider-Man out of it. Any combination of powers. You want to play you want to play man spider and be a gigantic man spider and kill everybody with spider powers? You can do it. You can play Man Spider if you want, because spider powers are right fucking there. It's hard to put my finger on what I think the two things, again, it's like in the lofty example of, Notepad's allowed to write Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. In this, it would be focus down the ranks to rank 5 to rank 15. That's obviously what they kind of want you to go for. Cool. You're kind of in that, in that sphere, so you can make the numbers mean more. I have a plus 57, but I have 120 billion health or whatever. That shouldn't happen. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things, like, they should feel a little bit better. This should feel a little bit better. But the fact that it's like, well, we need to make 25 ranks of power that are going to scale. And it scales exponentially. If you're 5 ranks lower than anyone, you're going to lose. It's very hard to beat anybody. And that's going to make things feel, it makes things feel awkward. Because you're only scaling in certain aspects. Oh, sorry, you're playing a blaster. Sorry, because you're playing a fucking blaster, you can't, your melee damage is falling off hardcore. But you can also fly, so you're just flying above the guy going ploo, 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 ploo against a bruiser who can throw a solid chunk of fucking metal at you, but he isn't going to do that much damage because of how the math works out. It's a weird game. I think the other big thing that I would probably change is either decide what you, how do I want to word this? Decide what the fuck you want to do with traits. Because right now, the problem with the traits are they're everywhere and they're very specific, but also very broad. And you get some of the ones are like, you just get a flat bonus to make yourself perfect. On another one's like, you get a +5 to your fucking ego defense whenever you're, tap dancing. Why would you ever pick the tap dancing one unless your character's a tap dancer? There's no reason to do it. But they've got to put it in because fucking Tony Stark in issue 247 took tap dancing lessons and he has to have the fucking tap dancer ability. That's where things get just weird and not right. Because it is a Marvel game, it's ripping away from something that could actually be interesting. It's ripping away. If you were to say, hey, this is Division 6-1, this is my brand new role-playing game, Division 616. You're playing government superheroes, trying to save the day, and you're still using the same system, same ideas. I think I would like it a little bit more. But because it's Marvel, and because they are kind of like forced to do certain things, it feels weird. It doesn't feel quite right. I don't hate it. Here's the thing, I do not hate this game. I think people hopped on this a little bit more aggressively because their favorite character wasn't being represented very well. Why is Spider-Man a polymath? He should be the... Why is Spider-Man only ranked 10? He should be ranked 20 billion. Why is Carol Danvers a real... I think people got mad because of that. Which is like, looking at it raw, it's like, yeah, if you want, you can just... I don't really care because I don't really care about superhero. I don't care about the Marvel superhero verse. But looking at it like raw gameplay wise, I can see like there are clearly good ideas here. But every step of the way is always like a man in a suit has like appeared behind them being like, hey everybody, did you see Rocket Raccoon's called Trash Panda? Isn't it funny? They said that in the movies. Why aren't you laughing? And I know the second they put in like Deadpool or something, it's going to be atrocious. And I think that's kind of that's my opinion on Multiverse, Marvel Multiverse role-playing. It's going to be a game that's going to be incredibly corporate. There's going to be a bunch of people sitting around in a room, not designing something that would be entertaining to play, but because they need to make sure that they have Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, that they have Moon Knight correct, they have Hawkeye correct, that they have Hawkeye issue 447 correct, that they have all the little things that they need. And don't forget, we got Ironheart. I think that's one of the new Iron Man girl's name. They got to make sure she's correct. And if that isn't correct, they got to make sure that Carol Danvers issues 242 is accurate. That's what this game is going to be. And that is, I think, the biggest problem. That is this game's biggest sin, is that it has this logo right there, and because that logo is there, it's influencing this game's development cycle a little bit more than it should, which is kind of a bummer. So yeah, that's it's weird, like, who's working on this, of like, why are they working on this? But like, if this game came out in like 2000, like, this game came out in 2008, man, I think this game would be an instant classic. Instant classic. What do you mean I can play fucking Groot from popular Marvel comics? Nobody knows who fucking Groot is, so you can kind of play around with it a little bit more. But because it's Disney, it's because of this, it's I don't know, a little bit of a bummer, little sad in that regard. But as they say, c'est la vie. Such is life. Such is life. But that's that's that pretty much. Let's see. Do I want to do? Let's see. Where is that other one that I was going to do? And I put it in a place. Where are you? Oh, getting a phone call. Give me one moment. Hello, I'm back. How are we all doing? That entire thing was odd. My mom wanted to, like, hey, she bought a new big ass vacuum. I'm like, okay, I can keep it in my apartment. She's like, okay, cool, come by and grab it. I go out there and grab it because I live effectively next door to her at this point. And she's like, oh no, you're gonna pick up the vacuum tomorrow or on Monday. Here's some chicken and some soda. I don't want to drink. It's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. But yeah, I wasn't lying when I said we're gonna go over another game, an odd one. This is. Let me open this up. This is Cowboy Bebop, the role-playing game. Now, this isn't a fan game. This is not like a, oh, look at this. This is a brand new game that no one has ever seen before. No, this is like a full-on playtest of Cowboy Bebop, a role-playing game that exists for some reason. I genuinely don't know why. Now, interestingly enough, come on, there we go. Now, interestingly enough, if we go over here, hello, little fly. We'll do Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop at his computer, Cowboy Bebop TRPG. Now, interestingly enough, it kind of came out of fucking nowhere. For me at least, and people were, it just kind of, someone mentioned it, and mentions it this week actually, and I was like, oh, all right. But yeah, it's by a company called Mana Project Studios and Don't Panic Games. That was the weird one, like Don't Panic Games. I was like, wait a second, why does Mana Project sound so familiar? Well, Mana Project is a company that does quite a few different games, their most popular one being Not the End. Now, some of my Europeans may know, hey, these guys sound very familiar. Not the End sounds really familiar. This is arguably one of the more famous Italian role-playing games out there. This is actually a very famous Italian RPG. Mana Project Studios actually is from Italy, I believe. I believe they're from North Italy. Yeah, Plaza della Repubblica, Milano. Yeah, they're from Milano. It's like, what? Oh? Au contraire, huh? Like they are pretty much noted to be one of the bigger and more impressive, Italian studios. And they are doing the Cowboy Bebop game. Weirdly, and it came out of fucking nowhere. So it's like, wait a second. So who are these guys? Who the fuck is Don't Panic Games? This is where things get a little bit more interesting. This is where things get a little bit more, ready for some moments. This is a board game company. These are board games. That's what they make. We go over here, we do like branding, pricing, type, like story games, strategy games. Now they made back in the, God, I don't even know how long ago was Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade. When did this game come out? Let's figure it out, everybody. Came out in 2020. So this game's about 2 years old. And they got the okay to make this. And it's exactly what you think it is. Looks like it's a kind of like a card game thing where you do stuff. You playing cards, you getting. It's a board game. That's what it is. It's a board game. €60. I'm like, all right. Looks like they're a French studio, actually. And they also have things like Attack on Titan, The Last Stand, in which you can climb a naked woman. That'll get me banned off Twitch. Like, all right. So it's like, where the, like, no place in this indicates they've ever been interested in role-playing games, like an actual, honest to God story, you know, TTRPG. No place in this that I've ever seen. Most of them are like, again, they're board games, they're, you know, are, you know, little card games and shit like that. A lot of licensed stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? It's the fucking hustle. However, this is where things get very interesting. They're working in part. They're not listed as the main ones. This is, but it's Don't Panic Game, the team that brought you amazing universes. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop, Naruto, Attack on Titan, and Tokyo Ghoul to tabletop gaming, in partnership with Mana Project Studio, the creative studio and publishers. Yep. Interestingly enough, actually, I should say, the micro case of now we're Cowboy Bebop. There we go. just to clarify it. Now we're Cowboy Bebop. Interestingly enough, it's like I think the situation that occurred here. Now this is a little bit of some strange copyright jargon and a lot of rights issues and things like that. I think Don't Panic Games, Don't Panic Games effectively got the license to publish Cowboy Bebop tabletop games. That's just what they got. Board games, card games, they just got the rights to do that. This is not, mind you, this is the big thing. This is not a company that does RPGs or anything. They just got the rights to do it. I have a strange and beautiful feeling. Shinichiro Watanabe has nothing to do with this game. Because they took the rights and sold the rights to do this. Don't Panic Games bought the rights to do these. You can usually pick up rights individually, which is kind of a big thing. It's the fact that they purchased the rights probably to make a Naruto tabletop game, so they can make Naruto board games and card games and dice games or whatever. That's what they can do. They have the right to do such. They bought the Attack on Titans tabletop, rights. They don't own the rights to Cowboy Bebop. They can't make a video game out of it. They can't write books about it, but they can make tabletop games. And I have a strange feeling Don't Panic Games said, wait a second. We did just make tabletop games, and RPGs are big money. We have the license to make Cowboy Bebop tabletop games. Why don't we make a Cowboy Bebop tabletop role-playing game? Zero input, probably, from the actual team who did Cowboy Bebop. And you may be wondering, no, Pat, isn't Cowboy Bebop a miraculously personal story of Spike and Jet and Faye and all of the rest of the crew of the Bebop as they go through their own past traumas and issues, with the setting being kind of a secondary thing to simply tell the story of a man who kind of is rapidly approaching his death and he kind of wants to die? Isn't that the entire purpose of it? Yes. Would that be a good role-playing game? Well, tell that to Blade Runner making like over $1 million on fucking Kickstarter, which I can rest assured everybody, rest a fucking assured, there was a dedicated group of people who probably saw that and said, holy fuck, this has made a lot of money. We're going to put out our own, because this is suspiciously similar. Like, suspiciously similar. So yeah, so it's a little bit, this game is a little bit weird. A little bit weird already. Interesting thing, don't get me wrong, it's interesting. The fact that it exists is like, Oh, that's cool. Like, all right. If you see, tabletop role-playing games coming to Kickstarter in 2022. No, it's coming here soon. Now, this is what I mean by, like, this game is definitely not, there is zero Japanese influence in this game. There, the actual place where this game was made, where this franchise is made, has zero influence on its creation. Which I think is hilarious. I love it. Studio Sunrise. Yeah, the product is licensed by this to Don't Panic Game. Yeah, so this is what occurred. Our Sunrise product, licensed by Sunrise to Don't Panic Games, who worked with Mana Project Studios to make it. These guys probably have very little to do with it. They pretty much, I'm assuming they probably hired Mana Project to write this game. It has no commercial value. Yeah, let's see. So, Bumble GDR. Yeah. Award-winning authors of... will lead you in a pioneering experience, bringing the world of Japanese anime to the tabletop role-playing game. Give me 1 second. Poggers, everybody. We're doing it. We're finally being able to play anime, the role-playing game. So we have themes, foundations. Money's never enough. But it's never a problem. Back to haunt you. Death is always dramatic, never accidental. What system was this using? I've not looked at this, by the way. Safety techniques or bounty hunters. First thing bounty hunter been quick start upon pre-generated directly from the Bebop crew. Walk through that, follow step by step will help you familiarize yourself with some of the game's concepts during character creation. When you choose your own bounty, we suggest follow a crew creation path together, exchanging ideas, comparing notes with each other. So, this is the character sheet. This character sheet fucking sucks and I hate it. I hate this character sheet. My eyes bleed. Yeah, this is weird. This is a weird game. Please help. What is this? Why are we here? Just to suffer? Let's see, it's pre-generated sheets. Here's Spike. Jeet Kundo, Lightning Reflexes, Spike Seagull, Red Dragon, Memory Julia, Swordfish 2. I find my rhythm is tending to my bonsai, to smoking a cigarette alone, to spending money I don't own, eating something new, and then Ein. You want to play Ein? Then we have the Bebop. Session to Cherry Bomb. Sweet Jesus. This is like a fucking... This is the session sheet. It's weird because they're like trying to do it like that. See you try to represent your end, your last confrontation with the past. So the last trait you mark on your cluster when you concluded your story. Oh no. Okay. Hi, Fair. Story you attend, play by test, modes of play, in which bounty hunter faces risk of generating new narrative opportunities. Oh, sweet Jesus fucking Christ. So let's see. Setting the stakes. Once you achieve something, the storyteller asks to attempt a test. Test with specific action. Getting something to talk, reveal a secret, broader effect. Always uncertain outcome. There's no point in attempting a test would drive a car in regular Mars traffic. Most that can happen is nothing happens to you. In this phase, players clarify the stakes, the result being sought, possible consequences. So, defining consequences. Oh, sweet Jesus. So, spend rhythm pro... Okay, so defining consequences first. It's helpful to allow the player to choose whether to spend rhythm points, to use groove, or to use memories to postpone the consequences at the end of a scene. Should also keep an eye on the tab, which section of the session the bounty hunters are in, making consequences more and more incisive as it progresses. Getting a consequence will not be the same if you're just looking for clues on a bounty, or if you're facing them during a final confrontation. Stakes consequences rolled by adding a positive dice for each trait they bring into play in a valuable way to a test. Each keyword written in a hex of the cluster is... oh, God. Each keyword written in the hex of a cluster is, in effect, a trait potentially valid during the test. Name, memory, ship. It is up to the player to justify its usefulness. No number to the number of traits. Ranging from 1 to 4. Story never attempts to test. They always will react to the dangers. They still have the bounty do some damage, with the bounty to ignore them, forcing a bounty hunter to attempt tests to defend them. Bounty hunters not directly facing a threat are nevertheless in dangerous situations that may have unforeseen consequences, will have difficulty. From positive dice will turn to negative dice, so you'll need 6-sided dice from 2 colors to play. Only 1 die will be transferred in the first tab, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 4th in the last one. There's simply not enough positive to turn to negative dice. The bounty hunter will simply rolls negative dice. Okay, what do you need to fucking roll? Tell me that. I roll D6s. He's straight trying to bring in play. What do they do, though? So you're going to turn... so it's going to be a D6 dice pool. The more traits you bring in, more positive dice, but then you're going to convert those into negative dice. Variable number D6s, although bounty hunter may not have enough traits to overcome the difficulty of a test. In that case, forego a test or 6 rhythm points to achieve a success with consequences anyway. Helping a bounty hunter. Okay. Once the dice have been rolled, player must decide how many dice to keep, knowing that the storyteller may add a number of dice equal to the number of negative dice they will keep. Storyteller can then choose how many negative dice to keep to add consequences to the test. Player then chooses to keep fewer dice they want to. A player may keep successes than are required to improve stakes he has achieved. So you're gonna take your pool and you're gonna roll your dice. You can get success. You need the number of successes equal to and so the storyteller may choose to keep a number of dice. Player may choose to keep fewer dice than need to pass the test that they want to try and limit the consequences the story can bring into play. Player may keep more successes than are required to further improve the stakes. He has achieved best tab progress even more. What the fuck is this game? This is really weird. I can tell you what this is. This is a big story game already, and I don't know if I like it or not. Like, I think the best way is, I think they're looking at a forest without seeing any trees. It's sometimes people say you can't see the forest through the trees, which you're looking at like really specific things without seeing the bigger picture. This one is almost the opposite. It's like there are no trees around, but you're claiming there's a fucking forest here. It's Cowboy Bebop. Here's the thing, everybody. Cowboy Bebop was an interesting story because the characters were interesting. You can't just force interesting characters. That's the problem. You can't just decide to have them. Even writing them in is a little bit complicated simply because, due to the nature of the settings, due to the nature of the characters, it doesn't really apply. Arguably, just making this in Traveler is a better idea because you can actually do this pretty well. Bebop works exceedingly well, actually, in Traveler, because your characters are usually going to be older with debts and problems and issues that they need to deal with. You're going to lose a little bit of the thematics, but the thematics can always be added by the GM. That's the point. Which could actually work pretty well. So you get 4 rhythm points when they play out a scene, describe a moment of relaxation, and they get into their favorite habits. Tabs and rhythm points. Oh, God. Session rhythm points are divided into 4 sections called tabs, which are called 3, 2, 1, and let's jam. Get it, guys? Because it's the fucking OP. Jesus. First 3 tabs, the number of corresponding number of points you need to let someone in. In the let's jam phase, it costs 1 point to help. You can also share your rhythm points with bounty hunters you are helping. So set the stakes, set the consequences, count your traits, set the difficulty, how many successes do you need, exchange positive dice for negative ones. The more succession goes on, the more dice become negative, get help, and roll all the dice to choose what to keep, and keep a number of dice. Did success without consequences, success with consequences. If you don't have enough successes, you can take a gamble. Or if not, this trait is lost for the session. Ugh. Big shot. Wow. Groove. Punch. Wow, everybody. Groove. Punch and Judy will tell what the criminal the players are following can do better than anyone else. Wow, everybody. Look, everyone. It's Punch and Judy. Wow. This is essential. Oh, my God. Shit, what the fuck is this game? We're actually made one immortal. Let's see. A bomb that's always ready to explode. Meaningful political connection that will force the bounty hunters to loosen their grip, or an accident that has made someone immortal, are all grooves that will remain true until the session reaches the Let's Jam tab. Let's see. The bounty can no longer rely on their own big shot. Grooves can get them out of trouble. Narrative authority. Storyteller can stage new opponents and obstacles. Spend consequences to complicate the scene. It's all about the rhythm. Abs is over. Storyteller insert a new twist to put the plot forward, a showdown, or even catapult the bounty hunters into a new situation to face. Hard luck one. While Faye is away on from the Bebop, gambling all the money from a bounty she recently collected from casinos and horse races, the dresser is delivered to the ship. When it's opened by Spike and Jet, turns out to be a box of Betamax videotape. Boogie Woogie Feng Shui. Jet receives a cryptic email from an old acquaintance, Pao Fa. This is only to find his grave. However, he does not appear to be dead. He's only disappeared under mysterious circumstance. Mysterious circumstances. Let's see. Boogie Woogie Feng Shui. Hard luck woman. They found a V chip which is incompatible with a Betamax cassette. In the background watches the film she made as a girl with her classmates. Alone at night she watches the film trying to remember something, but none of the images of the video are familiar. Oh no, look everyone, it's sad. Everyone could be crying. Learn a real lesson, take the initiative. So okay. So roughly speaking, okay. So roughly speaking, if we're making this is a rough. This is impossible to really say because we don't know what character creation rules are. However, For example, here's what I can. This is what I can roughly ascertain and put together. Here's what we're gonna do, because I can do this because we live in a society, and in case you want to know, this is. Give me 1 second. I'm literally going to. I will make this 16. We don't really need to do this, but we're going to do it anyway because I'm me. We're going to do this. We're going to select this. Put this right here. We want to do that right there. We want to put CU Space Cowboy. This is going to be entirely built off of maybe if and ors. There's no. It's not a guarantee. This isn't like. Not being sponsored or anything, so I don't fucking know. I'm going off of what this is pure game sense, you could say. Pure good old fashioned game sense. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go here, paint.net. So here's our character sheet. Now my theory is obviously we're gonna have to put in a name. So we're going to put in our own art. We're going to put in very let's see who's available right now. People are pinging. Why are you all the way that you are? Hang on 1 second. Actions. Okay, so who's available right now? You know what? Who we can draft? Let's draft somebody we all love and appreciate. We'll draft Ray into the fight. Ray Kala. We'll do Ray. I don't know his. Ray Deer. Actually, Kalashenko. I don't know if that's anything, but his name's going to be Ray Kalashenko now because he needs to be very horrendously Russian. Now, judging by this is entirely theory based. We apply this over here, and we're going to do that. Put you like right there so we can all see as I edit things. So we go to the playtest document and we go down here. So this is Ed. So no, we won't go with Ed. We're going to go with Faye here, for example. So these seem to be, so she has 4. Ed has 1, 2, 3. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. She has 4. Jet has 1, 2, 3, 4. Spike has 3. No, actually 1, 2, 3, 4 because he's got a memory. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it doesn't really seem like there's a. Something I'm missing with Spike, for example. No, I'm not really seeing anything with Spike. So assuming you're going to get about 3, 4. So we can do something like Origin. There we go. Like escaped convict. Does everybody have a memory? Yes, everybody. Everyone looks like they have a memory of some kind. So I wonder if you have to like connect them. So we're gonna put it over here, which is No, actually, we'll say we'll just do the big heist. There we go. We'll make Ray Kalashenko kind of a bastard. So it looks like you always have to tie it to another one. And because you're Faye Valentine, you have like no half measure plan B, or then okay, so again, this is just purely thinking. So let's just say because he's an escaped convict, we will add in prisoner of the most dangerous places here. We'll give him 3 traits, for example. So prisoner of the most dangerous places, gentleman thief, and we'll do like let's see, heavily seductive, attractive, and fatal. There we go. Seductive, attractive, and fatal. There we go. So we've got our 3, and then like so, lightning reflexes. How when somebody you're following is fled. Leg domain. When you're outnumbered, you lower difficulty test. So I'm assuming the grooves are always going to be like grooves are going to be chosen, if that makes sense. Yeah, they are. They're very vague character, little character tags. And it's like this doesn't really tell, because like the entire idea, from what I've gathered in this game, is if I want to make a check, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the traits. So if I'm playing Faye, and if I want to convince someone to give me information, I would be able to say, okay, because I am seductive, because I have no half measures, and I always have plan B, I'm going to get 3 positive dice to that check. So I'm going to roll that, and on 4 or higher, it's a success. But then the GM can convert some of these into negative dice that bring a success with complications. And it's like, what? What? Nani? Because the odd thing is, when it's like you can put in like your ship here, but not everybody has a ship. These do the same thing. It's so we can assume that like, because initially I thought like, oh, okay, then it what it'll mean is like you have to tie all the traits together, like everything has to flow together, leading to like a situation where you can get like, oh well, you're kind of you're trapped in it, like you can't escape. And that's kind of like what the CU tab is for, because the CU tab is quite literally the this is the end of the game tab. Like you're gonna lose if you die, or that's like the ending of your story. So that's like, all right. So actually, what we'll do is le go demain. So yeah, it's like, so this would be like what I can choose would be the Lego domain. I'm assuming, again, this is a pure assumption at this point. There's nothing else I can really do, so I'm just gonna take this right here. There we go. Anytime I'm outnumbered, lower the difficulty of test by 1. Okay. And that's, so actually I know I need to put in I find my rhythm when I'm alone in a group of people. There we go. So that's, I guess, how the character is supposed to be built. So here's Ray Kalashenko. I'm assuming this is how a character is supposed to look, like roughly speaking. There's no... Yell at my friend later. Yeah, so like you can like the idea being that you can convert more, you have to convert more positive dice into negative dice. The higher the track goes. So if we're using, this is the session, so this is the session sheet, for example. If this is the session sheet, it's the idea that the higher the bounty goes, the tabs go, the more like dice the more dice the GM can convert into negative dice. So the 3 he can only do 1 dice, 2 he can do 2, 1 he can do 3, and let's jam. I think that just means like you've succeeded at the thing, because this is the same idea. Because if we go over here to the sample sheet they give us, it's like, oh, Theodore Teddy Bear Thompson is the bounty. These are the 2 things he wants to do. This is the issue. So these are all the things that he wants to do, but oh, big shot, hit an explosive charge where you can't find it. So until you hit let's jam, that's always going to be kind of the issue. And then I guess you fill in the like the CU section, I guess. I guess. That's... I don't know with this game. I really don't know. Because I get where they're going, but I don't know what the fuck they want with it. Because again, my question is, why not just play Traveler? Because that's, you know, people say like, well, you're stifling innovation and you're stifling this. You shouldn't always just say, why don't you just play this? But that's the problem. Is you have to understand, what do you bring? What does your game bring? I don't know what this game's bringing. Like, it looks the part, but you can say all like, oh, look, it's the 3, 2, 1, let's jam situation. No, no, that feels more like you're pandering than you're actually making something interesting. You are pandering that you want to make this weird story game out of it. Lord, you don't need to. So it's like, yeah, this is an odd one. I don't know about this one. I don't know. Why don't you play a game with rules, Tia Piggott, who doesn't like thirsty sword lesbians? That's kind of the odd thing with it. It's like, this is a playtest document, obviously, but it's like, why don't you have something a little bit deeper here? It doesn't need to be complicated. If you were to tell me, hey, this is a D6 success system, you're going to take a bunch of D6s, depending on the number of, like, you get a bunch of D6s, you got some basic attributes and basic traits. You're going to roll a number of D6s equal to your attribute, and you're going to add 1 dice for every trait that comes into play. All right, cool. Done. Don't got to think about it. We're okay. So you roll and be like, oh, well, I got 2 successes, but oh no, I'm going to be the fact that I'm, because Ray Kalashenko is, has a memory of the big heist and he's an escaped convict, I'm going to roll 2 more dice and like, wow, I scored 2 more successes and I did really well. That could be interesting, or like that, like why? This feels like a very, am I saying this is a cash grab? I'm not going to say it's not a catch grab. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say it's not. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it there for today. I don't know about Cowboy Bebop. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. Hope you have a great rest of the day. I will see you all on Monday. And maybe tomorrow even. I don't know. Ever played with the match system? I have not. I have not actually played with the match system. I'll have to look into that. But it's weird because the company doing it has made actually like relatively deep games. So I'm curious of why. It's like, but why? Or maybe it's just because this is just a bad playtest. Maybe that is a distinct likelihood that you've just given us a shitty playtest of half-finished rules and it's like, here we go, have fun. I'm like, no. So, yeah, I'm going to call it there. Thank you. Godspeed. Good luck. And I will see you all on Monday or maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. So,